Finally we meet again. I am so excited to see you guys. I hope you guys are doing okay. So without further ado, let's get to it. So yesterday and the day before we learned about something. Who can tell me what did we learn about? Hmm. We learned about insects, that's right. So what did we say insects were? Or how can you tell that an animal is an insect? Don't look at my picture. I see you. Okay, number one, it has an exoskeleton. Okay, so unlike humans, its skeleton is on the outside, right? Okay, number two, it has no bones. So if you come across an insect and it has bones, that's not an insect. Okay, number three, it has three body parts, and which are those? The head, the thorax, and the abdomen. I hope you didn't forget that. And then what else can we characterize insects with? It has six legs. Yes. So all insects have six jointed legs, okay? And then what else? It had it has two antennae, okay? So if it was one, it was gonna be one antenna. I hope you also didn't forget that. And then what else? What about the wings? Do all insects have wings? No, not all insects have wings. Some have wings and some do not have wings. So if you come across an insect and it doesn't have wings, it's still an insect, okay? So okay, before I move on, what did we say a person who studies insects is called? An entomologist. That's right. Who wants to be an entomologist when they grow up? You guys have bright futures ahead of you. Hey, I am so proud of you. So today we are going to learn about the different kinds of insects that we have. So before we move on, I want us to play a game, okay? So to play this game, I am going to flash different animals on the screen and I want you as quickly as possible to tell me if it's an insect or not, okay? So I am gonna start. Let me shuffle my cards and we have this one. Insect or not? Not an insect, okay? This one, insect or not? Not an insect. Not an insect. Why? Because it doesn't have two antennae, it doesn't have three body parts, it doesn't have six jointed legs, and it doesn't have an exoskeleton, right? That's right. What about this one? Not an insect too, okay? This one, an insect, okay? This one, an insect, okay? This one, an insect, okay? Not an insect. What about this one? It's a bit tricky, hey? So this one is not an insect. Why? Because even though it does have an exoskeleton, meaning it has its skeleton on the outside, but it's not an insect because it doesn't have two antennae, it doesn't have, sorry, two antennae, it doesn't have three body parts, it doesn't have six jointed legs, so definitely it's not an insect, okay? Yeah, so I am going to show you the pictures of all the animals that you told me were insects, and I want you to name them for me, okay? So even though you can't see guys properly the body structure and the legs and the antennae, but they are there, okay? So we have this one. This one is a butterfly. Say butterfly. It's a butterfly. I think we all have seen a butterfly before. It has all butterflies have different colors, beautiful bright colors, and we usually see it during the day on trees, on plants, on flowers, flying around land. So yeah, this is a butterfly. And then we have this one. It's a mosquito. So when do we usually see mosquitoes? During the night, that's right. Usually flying around, you know, and they usually have that zzz sound, okay? And they are too small that some of us cannot see their color, but they are black and with a touch of brown. Okay, so these are mosquitoes. They're mosquito. And then we have this one. It's a ladybug. So ladybugs are red and black, and we usually see them during the day. I am not sure if we all have seen this before, but we usually find it on grass or usually flying around. So that's a ladybug. So ladybug. It's a ladybug. And then we have this one. It's a beetle. It's a beetle. So beetles are also found mostly during the day, and this one is red and black in color. And we usually find them on grass, on trees, on plants, or just flying around. Okay, and then we have this one. It's a wasp. Say wasp. I'm not sure if you guys have seen a wasp before, but you usually find it on grass, brown grass, or trees, or plants. Yes, like the previous insects that we have done, we usually find it on trees, plants, on woods, on grass, or just flying around the place. And even though the animals that we have done, sorry, even though the insects that we have done thus far are found around land or around plants and all that, we do have some insects that live in water. Yes, like for example, a dragonfly. A dragonfly lives in water, inside water, around fresh water. So we do have insects that live not on land but in fresh water. It can fly, a dragonfly can fly around land, but it's mostly found in fresh water. Okay, so not all insects are found around land or are found just where we live, where we can see them. Some of them actually live in water where we can't see them. Okay, so are these the only insects that we have? Definitely not. So I need you guys to give me all the names of the insects that you know or have seen. Uh, yeah, and then I'll write them down here. So a cricket, yes. A cricket. Where do we usually find the crickets? Around land, flying around on grass, on trees, right? And then what else do we have? A grasshopper. Is a grasshopper and a cricket the same thing? No, they are two totally different insects, okay? So please don't confuse a grasshopper with the cricket, okay? What else do you have? We have ants, we have bees, we have flies, and these are not the only insects that we have. There are a lot of insects around us. Unfortunately, we cannot name them all because of time. So what are we gonna do now? What we are gonna do now is we are gonna do something fun, something interesting. So what I need you guys to do is to go outside for a scavenger hunt, and I want you to look for insects as much as you can find. So when you find them, I don't want you guys to harm them. What I want you to do is just to observe from afar. Do not touch them. Just observe them, their color, their legs, their antennae, their body structure, where they live. Okay, so I'll go first because I have went outside and I have observed. So what I found was a grasshopper. It was big, yes, it was big, and it had three body parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. It was green in color, and it had six jointed legs, and it had two antennae, and I found it on grass. It was hopping around on grass. Okay, I also saw ants, a lot of ants, tiny black ants. They were black in color and they didn't have wings. Unfortunately, I couldn't see any other things because they were too tiny for me to see, but I found them under a rock. Okay, so I also need you to guys go and observe insects, different insects, and share with the partner what to find, share with those around you what to find, or share with me because I'll be here and I'll be listening, okay? So yeah, and then when you are done, I want you to take out your animal magazines, and I want you to cut out five different insects. Sorry, I want you to cut out five different insects from the magazines. So, and then I need you to create a table. So your table should be something like this. It should look something like this. So this is mine. So on the first column, it's the picture. The second, the name of an insect. The third, the color. The fourth, the number of wings. The fifth, the antennae. The number of legs on the sixth one, and the habitat on the last one, meaning where it lives. So for example, I have a picture on my first column, picture of a ladybird, as you can see. And then on the second, I have written the name of the ladybird. Ladybird, I have written. And then here I have written the color, which is red and black, because the ladybird is red and black. And then I have written the number of wings, which is two pairs or four wings. So it depends on you how you want to write the wings, the number of wings, okay? And then the antennae, I have written two because it has two antennae. And then the number of legs, I have written six because it had six legs. So if your insect has five legs, you can write five here. If it has four, you can write four, depending on the number of legs your insect has. But remember what we said about insects, what we said about the number of legs an insect has, okay? Just be mindful of that. And then habitat, I said grass. You can also write land because usually we find it flying around land, or we find it on grass. So imagine if there was no grass for these insects to live. What would happen? What do you think would happen to them? Sad, right? Yeah, so your table should look something like this at the end, all filled out with different pictures.